How's it going, you guys? It's Scott with Everyday Home Repairs. I want to show you how to manually light a furnace. This is a great skill to have to get yourself out of a tough situation, or maybe right now your furnace is having an issue, it is not lighting, temperatures are low outside, and you want to make sure the temperatures inside the house do not match the temperatures outside your house. Now we're going to call in the pros for this one, and I got Dave from the DIY HVAC Guy YouTube channel to come show us a few different scenarios on how to safely light a furnace manually.
Now it's important that you know the startup procedure for your furnace because we only have a 4-second window to manually light this furnace. So let's start by taking the front cover off of your furnace. This one is a Goodman furnace. It's very basic. It just has two screws for the top panel. And then as you can see, we can now access all of the burners here. Now one thing to note is that on your furnace, you may have a metal cover that goes over the burners. Now obviously we need to access the burners in order to light these manually. So all you're going to need is a 1/4 inch or a 5/16 nut driver to take that little cover off. Just pop it off and then you're good to go. So let's start with a proper furnace ignition procedure to start. So let's turn our power on, make sure that our thermostat is calling for heat, maybe bump it up a few degrees. And the first thing that we'll note will happen is our inducer motor will turn on. And what this is doing is pulling the exhaust fumes out of this PVC venting to wherever it exits the home. And the next thing that we'll note will happen is our hot surface igniter right here with the two wires coming off will start to glow red. So there we have that. The next thing that we'll see happen is our gas valve will open and it will let gas through this manifold into these two burners and we will have ignition. There we go. That's how our furnace is supposed to ignite every time. Now we're going to walk through what will happen in this failure mode where the hot surface igniter has failed, and we'll walk you through how to light that manually. So first of all, we see our inducer fan is coming on, and that's pulling the exhaust out of your exhaust vent. And in doing so, it's actually pulling any gas that's being sent through this manifold into the heat exchanger straight out. And so that in itself is going to keep us safe when we're working with a flame and lighting this furnace. Our igniter should be glowing red. The next thing that's going to happen is we're going to hear this gas valve open and it's going to try and ignite. So there we go. 4 seconds right there sending gas into these burner tubes, but as we saw, nothing happened. Alright, so we're going to duplicate this failure mode again where our hot surface igniter is not igniting, and we're going to show you how to light this. So our inducer motor came on, and right now we're going to wait for this gas valve to click, and what we're going to do is we're going to keep our flame right in front of this manifold. You don't have to light it further in like some other folks will suggest. You can do it from the front here and it would work just the same. There we go. Now you might have some concerns about dealing with a lighter and natural gas. There might be some safety concerns there, but in reality this inducer motor is pulling the exhaust through the heat exchanger, and so any potential unburnt fuel is going to be pulled through the heat exchanger and out of the flue. So there's really no safety concerns here. Now another thing to keep in mind is that with a larger furnace or a different type of furnace, you might have what's called a thermocouple, and you'll need to follow a little tube that runs to the burners and light it there, because otherwise the furnace is not going to light. But 99% of furnaces that are out there today are going to be similar to this. They're going to have a hot surface igniter or a spark igniter, and you can light it right here just as we showed in this video. Well, hopefully this got you out of your situation and you were able to get your furnace started. One thing that I recommend is, being as you're going to have to relight this every time the threshold is met on your thermostat, say your home is at 50 degrees, you would bump this all the way up to maybe 80 degrees, really get the house heated up, and then it'll slowly decline until it gets to, that temperature again, and then you'll have to redo this process again. So that will avoid having to light this many times, being as your hot surface igniter has failed. Now, if you're in another situation where your furnace isn't working and you have no electricity, click on this video and I'm going to show you how you can use a standard car battery to power your furnace. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on that next video.